Hello, hello, how are you? I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Today, I wanted to ask you, I have so many parents all the time that come to me and ask me, what do I do when my teen doesn't even care about homework? And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. So, this is such a legit question, right? So often, I have been a tutor for over 12 years, and so often parents come to me saying, look, homework is a serious struggle for me and our family and my child. What do I do in order to help my kiddo do better with homework? Because so often there are so many different things going on when it comes with homework, right? So often our teens, when it comes to homework, sometimes they just don't write homework down, and so they either forget to do the homework, or the teacher assigns homework as our kids are running out the door, and they say, oh, do this assignment, and our kids are running out the door thinking, oh, I'll remember to do that later, and then they just forget to do it later because they didn't write it down. Sometimes I've even seen students that have done the homework, spent over an hour on a single homework assignment, only to lose it and not be able to turn it in the next day when it was actually due. So there are so many different reasons that homework can just be so complicated for our students and for our teens. But all of that is, it can be fixed. It's not too difficult that it can't be fixed. And when I share my tips and tricks about homework, some parents come to me and say, look, all of that is great, but what do I do if my teen just doesn't even care about homework? And look, this I totally understand. This happens so often, especially if our teen is in a class where a teacher just kind of assigns busy work, right? If our teens think that their homework assignment is just busy work, they're not going to do it. They're not going to want to do it. If our teens think that there's no real learning going on with homework, it's just there for an extra grade, then they're not going to want to do it. If they think that this extra grade is not weighted the same as a test grade, so often students may think, well, all I have to do is do well on the test, and then I don't have to waste all my time doing homework. Then they're not going to want to do homework. And they also may think, well, if homework doesn't even really help me learn what is there for the test, I don't see any point in doing homework if it's not really teaching me what I need to know, right? So there are so many different reasons why our teens may not want to do homework, where they just flat out just don't want to. It's not that they didn't write it down. It's not that they forgot. It's not that they lost homework. It's that they don't care about homework. So what can we do? We as parents, we want them to do their best. We want them to learn and do well in class. But when they continue to have their grades suffer, and we know it's because of homework, but they don't really think that it's because of homework. They think, well, I'll just do great on my next test, or I'll do great on that next big project, and my grade will be fine, right? That's so often I hear that, my grade will be fine. Here's what we need to do. We as parents need to show our kiddos. When I say kiddos, I say either your teen, whether it's your teen, preteen, your student, your kiddo, whatever grade they're in, we can teach them the impact homework actually has on their grade. So how do we do this? I am someone that loves numbers. So all the time I use my little, I want to show the average. What happens if we're doing really well in class and then we just stop doing homework, or we forget about homework, or we didn't turn it in? Whatever the case may be, it's important for us to show our kids how impactful homework is to our overall grade. And here's what I want to show you. I want to show you averages. So even basically, in summary, even if your kiddo does most of their homework and gets A's on every single homework assignment, if they're not doing some, or if they're just not turning it in, if they're getting zeros for just some of their homework, it can bring their entire homework grade down to an F. And here's how I want to show you. I always have my nice little paper. I've got a nice dark Sharpie So I hope you'll be able to see this very, very clearly. And when I show you this, then you can go and show this exact same averages to your teen or your preteen. So let's start off by saying, if your teen turns in their first 4 homework assignments, that's 4 homework assignments, and they get really good grades on all 4. Let's say they get a 90% on all 4, okay? I'm writing down the averages so that you can see it on my paper. So we've got 190. Second grade is good. Third is good. Fourth is good. Okay, here. Hopefully we can see this. First is really good, 90. Good job, kid. You're doing great. Second, he turned in. He did it great. Third, turned it in, did great. Fourth, turned it in. He is on a roll. He is doing great. Your teen is doing really well. He's probably thinking, yes, awesome. I'm doing so good. My grade is great right now. If I miss one, that's okay. It won't hurt that bad because I've done so well on all my other homework assignments. So let's say the next one, even though he did 4, worked hard to get these 4 turned in, did amazing on this, forgot number 5, forgot to do it, forgot to turn it in. Oh man, my numbers are getting smaller. So then the last one, let's get it in the middle. The last one is a 0. What is the average of all of this then? Even though every single one of these was really, really good, there is one that they forgot to turn in or just didn't do. So what is the overall average now? They may be thinking, no big deal. I did well on all the others. It can't be that bad, right? I got to pull up my calculator. Ha! The new average, with only 1 missed homework assignment, the new average, 72%. 72 for most students is a D, right? So they just went from having, it depends on the school, this is probably, usually it's an A. They just went from having all A's down to a D. This is the reason why your child's grade is suffering. It's not because they're not working hard. It's not because that they're not smart. Look how great their grades are right now. It's only because the occasional missed homework assignment. And this wouldn't be that big of a deal if they had turned it in, right? If they had just done that and got another 90, their grade would be so good. But it's because they don't understand the importance of homework that they don't turn it in. So this is one example. What if we continued this example? What if, okay, they got that 0 and they think, okay, it's not a big deal. Next time I'll make sure to do even harder. I'll work harder. I'm going to continue to turn my homework in and it'll be okay. I'll bring that grade back up. So let's average in another 4 90s. There we go. So I just did another. So that was the previous average, but then your student continues to do well on homework and turn them in every time, and they're still getting really good grades. And that is awesome, and that should be celebrated, and that should be exciting. But out of nowhere, they just forgot one assignment. What happens when you average in 2 zeros? Let's check that out. So if they had continued to do 80, 80, 80, sorry, I meant 90, 90, 90, 90, 90 without the zero, then they would have brought their grade up to an 80%. Notice how still the 80 is not going to get up to a 90 just because they had that one missed assignment. So just with one missed assignment, they are digging themselves out of this hole that they put themselves in just by missing one simple assignment. That's it. Just by 1 0, it drags the entire grade down. So even if they think, well, I've done well on everything else, 1 0 shouldn't impact it that much, right? No, exactly. That's how much 1 0 impacts the entire grade. So they've been doing well over and over and over and over again, right? And they're bringing their 72 back up to an 80, which for most schools that's a B, right? And so they brought their C or D up to a B, and they're thinking, okay, I'm digging myself out of this hole. And then out of nowhere, they forgot another assignment. And then what happens? They go right back down to their 72. So that is how important a single homework grade can be to your child's overall grade. And so what happens when our students have all of these zeros in their homework grade? Number one, it's going to drag their overall grade down tremendously. So how can we help them and combat this? If they've already got tons of missed homework assignments, what we need to do is ask the teacher if we can turn in those homework assignments for partial credit. Because even if the teacher gives you only 50% when you would have gotten the 100%, 50% is so much better than a 0, right? Even though to a student may be thinking, well, why does it matter whether I have 50% is an F, a 0 is an F? They're both failing, so why even bother doing that? Because it will help bring your entire grade back up. A 0 is just that impactful. So what I'm trying to tell you today is teach your child how impactful this 0 is to their overall grade. Teach them that if they had done the work before it was due, they could turn it in on time and have the full credit. It is so likely that if students just turned in every single assignment, if they kept better track of their assignments when things were due, if they did them and turned them in on time, your child's homework grade would likely be an amazing, amazing grade. The only difference is just having a few zeros in brings the entire average down tremendously. So that is what I would tell you and encourage you to do, to show, not just teach, but show with these averages how important a homework grade is, a single homework grade, and how important it is to their overall grade. So when your teen thinks that homework doesn't matter, look, tell them, show them it does matter, and this is how it affects your grade. Right? I hope that this was so encouraging for you today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. If you all have any comments or questions, please make sure to leave them down below and I will get right back to you. I answer every single question myself. I cannot wait to hear from you. I cannot wait to hear about your teen or your preteen or your student. I hope that they learn and understand how important homework grades really are for their overall grade and that they have more importance than just from learning from homework. I hope you all have a fantastic day today. Take care. Bye, y'all.